effing crazy bitch.
Hi everyone, this is Big for Us, Calvin 83. I got something to share with you and I'll be back in a little bit.
Serena and Pooh Bear waltzing around the room, la da da.
An Ontario judge has released video from Elaine Campione's trial in Barrie. The 35-year-old mother was convicted of first-degree murder for killing her two young daughters, 3-year-old Serena and 19-month-old Sophia. The chilling images taken by Campione shows her children seconds before she drowned them in a bathtub on October 2nd, 2006. After the murders, the mother then sat in front of the camera and told her ex-husband the children were dead and that it was all his fault.
I hate you.
Typical, blame the guy for everything. Isn't that right? Oh, it can never be her fault. You see, stuff like that really pisses me off. It's always the guy's fault. She's the victim. A victim of what? What? That she committed a crime, killing her own children? That she claimed that she loved? Now, in this bit before, I normally do it the other way, but this really pisses me off. So, she's the victim. My thing is, obviously, why was she with this guy that she claims she hates now? There could be many things. Probably because she was in lust with him. But going by the situation, and he had some money on him. And she didn't give a shit if the guy treated her like shit, like she claims. But until she got the ring, and then since she lives in Western society, not Canada, not United States, but Canada. But Canada is America Part 2. So because she lives in the West, and where feminism runs rampant, where women are on their pedestal, while men don't have no rights. So basically, the reason why things got testy the way it did, because obviously the father wasn't a deadbeat because he wanted to see his kids. It's just that the woman, this bitch right here, wanted to be on her pedestal. She had to have her way, a power trip, and that's why she killed the kids. She didn't give a shit how she was. If the guy was an asshole, how she treated her. As long as she got what she wanted out of him, the lifestyle. Now that she don't have that, now she wants to talk about how bad it is. If that's not the case, then money or he had swag, whatever. Then obviously, since she's no longer in lust, and the lust wore off after she got more time to get to know him, well, she should have just got to know him for who he was, and just based on his character. But women don't do that. They got to be in lust, or you got to have something they want, and then they want to do it afterwards. No, you got to do it at the beginning. It goes to show that how this cunt don't know what love is. She doesn't. But guess what? She liked her drama. And that was the case. She created drama. That's why he was fucking abusive. He probably was a nice guy, but she wanted to push his buttons because she could do whatever she wants, because the fact that the court systems are on her side, the law is on her side, and the government is on her side. So whatever a man does, like stand up for himself, he will get in trouble by the law and the government. Because women use the same fucking system. That's a misogynist system run by a bunch of fucking misogynists, but they want to become what they hate. So basically, these bitches follow a fucking patriarchal, government institutionalized, indoctrinated of enslavement of a so-called civilization. And so the elite bankers who are truly misogynists, they run to these guys and worship these guys because they got money. So they don't give a shit how these guys treat them. and then they want to, then they want to oppress the men who are not in that position of power. It is blatant hypocrisy that bitches want power and no responsibility and don't give a shit about male leadership. They don't, unless they have all the responsibility, doing all the work, and she just sit on her ass and take her fucking pick. I'm gonna keep rolling. I'm gonna play this video. I just had to get this off my chest.
2006. After the murders, the mother then sat in front of the camera and told her ex-husband the children were dead and that it was all his fault.
I hate you. I truly, truly hate you. You can take your engagement ring and you can shove it where the sun don't shine because it's cursed. I truly believe it is a cursed ring. And you're the devil.
No, you're the devil,
You
cunt.
are truly the devil.
The disconcerting video was played several times to the jury throughout the 2-month trial. Campione was found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. She was sentenced to life in prison with no parole for 25 years. Thane Burnett for QMI Agency.
Okay, so basically, I mean, how should I finish this off in my conclusion? So basically, she gets a slap on the hand. She gets like 25 years to life without no parole. But think about it. Now let's reverse. Now what if the husband had custody of the kids, and she was fighting to see her own daughters, and the husband killed them, and then started whimpering and crying and all that. Do you think he would get 25 to life? You probably get the death penalty, especially since the little girl, since the children are females. Unfortunately, since they're females, he would not get no sympathy. And him crying like that on a camcorder, he would get no sympathy, no empathy, no nothing. But he would probably be killed off, or probably, it would be maximum security prison, but he probably would not be alive. He'd be on death fucking row. Death row for this heinous act. Now mind you, children are children, regardless of the gender of the children, it is still wrong. But it is still wrong, and there's no justice for those children being killed. But the fact that the court system went lenient on this bitch and should have put her on fucking death row immediately, and should have got the maximum death penalty. No, but because she's a female and was crying out, he was abusive, he was controlling and all that stuff. But she didn't give a damn when things were going good. Because when she was attracted to him, probably was in lust, or because he had cash, he had money. And that's why he was actually likely to win and get custody of the kids, is because he kept fighting, because he had the resources to do it. And she did not have nothing. And that's a lesson to you women. If you're going to want a guy who got money, you better make fucking sure that you have money too. So if you want a guy who's making $500,000 a year, you better be making the same amount. Not a little less, the same amount. If you want to go over, but we know what happens if you start making a little bit, you start becoming a narcissistic bitch. But wait a minute, you're always a narcissistic bitch because you think because you got a cunt between your legs that you are entitled to respect. And you're not entitled to respect, and basically what really irritates me is that they didn't even show the father's emotions. They just showed her side of the story, her version of her crying on camera. Why didn't they show the father crying in court? Oh, I forgot. He's a guy. He don't have no emotions and feelings, right? So that's what you're telling. That's what you're telling us, the viewers. Why don't you show the guy grief? Maybe, and then because you know why they didn't do that, or show the guy crying over his kids because men are not supposed to cry. Number one. Number two, if they showed guys actually having emotions and feelings, then they would have to. then they would have to. Then that whole bullshit propaganda of men being deadbeat dads and men don't take care of the kids. Men will just get women pregnant and leave, which is bullshit because for a woman to get pregnant, she would have to allow herself to fuck unprotectedly. No practice non-safe sex, have fornicate, basically pure fornication, have sex with a guy with her consent to get pregnant. So basically it would be her decision to rather the guy can have sex with her with the glove or without the glove. So no condom, no love. And that's the problem with that statement. Everything's about, people think sex is love. That's what you see in these commercials. And, I mean, I was watching a movie last night. Forgot what it was called. But they showed Ashton Kutcher, the actor, and Cameron Diaz. They showed him being a complete slob, a complete degenerate, and they had Cameron Diaz, this bitch, being all perfect, proper, and prim, and flawless, and clean. These double standards piss me off. And the fact that they didn't want to show the father grief in this because these feminists have a fucking agenda and these fucking misogynist bastards who are at the fucking top don't want to show, they don't, see they're males running the system, but they don't want to show the regular guy who has, they don't see him as a human. They see him as nothing because they're not in the elite class. Okay. They're not in the elite class, so they're nothing. They have gold and silver, not fucking money, because they produce the money. So they didn't want to look at the average guy, the regular guy. It doesn't matter if he's, you know, upper middle class, because he's still broke. He's still in the middle class. You're broke. That's being worse than poor because you don't. And when you're poor, you're forced to stay there with government public assistance. But these bastards these upper elites can get public aid without no questions asked. They qualify even though they don't fucking need it, so they can keep their money. You people really need to wake the fuck up. Anyway, I'm gonna close out this video. That is total fucking injustice. When will you men stand up for yourself and stop being so fucking pussy-whipped? And all you women who claim that you're on the men's side, when would you actually start defending us men? And don't give me that Ray Pookie argument or Jesse James argument that these men are bad to justify your hatred for men. No, we're talking about the good guy here. When will you stand by our side? I forgot you don't want to stand by our side because of the fact that you're fucking evil. You're not a good person. You want to stand on your fucking pedestal. And you have no respect for the good man. You love your bad boy, and you use these bad boys as boy toys to justify your hatred for men and it's for your pleasure, so you can be on top and never be held accountable for anything. You have all power and no responsibility. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Drop your comments. Start commenting on the articles that I provide in the description box. We need to put pressure on the media and make it work in our favor. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. I'm out. Peace.